I have a small white dog. Without any Mexican heritage, his name is Sancho. He moved in with our family in the year 2000, and now, as an 84-year-old dog, he often fails to pee at the right place, yet runs and eats like a bull. Our relationship was not always pretty. Every day was a struggle for us to live under the same roof, but as I look back, he was something more than just a pet. I'm going to tell you all the valuable lessons that I have come to appreciate in my 12 years of living with this seemingly odd dog of mine. Lesson 1. We live in a small world. The first time Sancho and I met was in my apartment elevator. A woman was holding on to 3 tiny Maltese babies, one of which would grow up to be the infamous Sancho Kim. The woman, after sensing my passionate stare at one of those dogs, told me that she'll be giving away only 2 of them. Hoping she would give away the last one to this cute 7-year-old me, she told me that she will sell them for me for $100. After trying to convince my mother for hours, my mother agreed to buy me one on one condition: I had to clean up his mess. It's a shame because I lied. I sometimes still regret making that choice looking at my grumpy old dog. I always wondered why this dog only cared about food. And I found the answer when I decided to come to the actual school. I met Larry Kim. The woman who was giving away the dogs was Larry's mother. I lived in the 11th floor, and Larry's family had a friend living on the 7th floor of my apartment to whom they were giving away the dogs. Funny how my best friend had Sancho's mother even before I knew him. Larry's incessant love for food was handed down as a heritage. We live in a small world. We must learn to value each relationship we make and think before we act. Who knows, the person you carelessly pass by on the streets could turn out to be your best friend. Lesson 2. Be confident and loyal. When Danny, Larry, and I were about to leave to ski about 2 winters ago, my mother came down with Sancho to hand me my goggles. Danny, excited to see this dog that I talked about all the time, reached his hands out to Sancho's face, only to almost lose his thumb. Though tiny, Sancho thinks he has the duty to protect our family. No matter how big or how human they are, he will fight to scare away any strangers from approaching. When my father comes back after having a drink with his friends, he sits in front of Sancho and talks to him about his inner struggles, repeating that Sancho is the most loyal member in our family. If you give loyalty, you shall receive. Best relationships revolve around trust. Don't waste time making empty friendships. When I take Sancho out for a jog, he never loses his confident stride with his head held high, even next to a pit bull, a horse, Danny, or probably even next to Coach Leaf. I'm not telling you all to react violently to strangers like Sancho. However, be confident when approached. Do not be the passive one, but be active and reach out to others. Make new relationships, but within them, remain loyal. Lesson 3, be aggressive. Every morning I dream about waking up with my clean white dog snuggling with me. The reality is a dirty yellowish dog that never answers my calls. When I shout out his name, hoping that he will come, he slowly picks up his head from his bed, checks to see if I'm holding on to a beef jerky, and goes back to his lazy routine. What a useless dog, I think on and on. However, when I am holding on to a jerky or actually anything edible, the story is quite different. Fatigue vanishes from his body, his tail flaps like no other, his eyes are wide open, his panting becomes loud with his tongue sticking out. Quickly calculating the distance between the food and his bed, he runs to my hand, breaking all the obstacles, slamming his head if necessary, and sits in front of me with the most kind and lovable eyes. I, allured by his poker face, always give him the food, and he goes back to the old grumpy Sancho. He truly is a hypocrite. Nonetheless, there's one thing you can respect about Sancho: his aggressiveness to reach his goal. The goal for him is the food, and he will do anything to eat it. Henry David Thoreau said, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined." We all have goals, but not all of us have the drive. Your dreams are there to not only dream them, but to catch them. Follow your dreams more aggressively. If you do so, you'll soon find yourself within them. Lesson 4, cherish friendships. Though I have been describing Sancho as an evil monster, he, after all, is my friend with whom I've lived for more than 12 years through good and bad times. My mother told me once that when I left to go to a boarding school in the States for several months, Sancho waited for me every night in front of the door. I, too often, find myself missing his angry barks. Maybe we're just too shy to show our true bromance in front of us. I would like to take this time to tell Sancho that I do love him too. Cherish those around you. Even the worst relationships can teach you the most. Don't hesitate to be thankful for your companionship and everything else you have. Sancho still remains as an inspiration, a teacher for me. This small place we live in is actually filled with Sanchos. Whether it is an angry dog or your life, we unconsciously live through this violent, metaphysical, symbolic storm and take away priceless lessons that changes us. Look around yourself. Who or what is your Sancho?